everyone, Professor Baldwin here. This example tells us to factor the trinomial completely. Remember that whenever you see the word completely, it usually means that there's going to be multiple steps to factoring. Usually a GCF, and then that'll leave you with a trinomial or a polynomial of some sort that you need to also factor. So looking at this, do we have a GCF? Yes, we do. They have an x in common for all three terms. Also, we have a negative for our leading coefficient. You never want to leave a negative. You always want to factor that out as your GCF. So our GCF here is going to be a negative x. And if we start by factoring out that negative x, we end up with the polynomial of x squared plus 2x minus 15. Now, even if it didn't tell me to factor completely, I always want to check this remaining polynomial to see if I can factor it or not. And can we factor it? Let's see. We're looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 15 and also add to give us a positive 2. Well, with 15, I immediately think of 3 and 5. 3 times 5 is 15. Is there any way to make one of them negative so that when I add them, I get a positive 2? Yes, a negative 3 and a positive 5. Those multiply to the negative 15, and they also add to give me a positive 2. So this middle polynomial will factor out to be x minus 3 times x plus 5. And we can't forget that GCF that we initially factored out. And don't forget, whenever you factor, you want to do a quick check to make sure that you factored correctly. This is a great way to find out if you forgot a GCF or not. And because we have three terms here, we have the GCF of negative x and two binomials, I'm going to start by using FOIL with those two binomials. That gives me x squared for the first. My outer is a plus 5x. My inner is a minus 3x. And my last is negative 3 times 5, or negative 15. And then on the outside of that, I have that GCF of negative x. Now we want to combine some terms. So we have negative x times x squared plus 2x minus 15. And notice that this factored form looks exactly the same as this green step where we factored out our GCF initially. So we know that we factored this correctly and that our final factored form is negative x times x minus 3 times x plus 5.